coming to you live from inside my little off the grid hut. Don't need much more than that. I have a lot of things to say, and I'm not going to worry too much about how I present it because there's some really super important things going on out there, and we just need to address them and not worry so much about the presentation and making people excited to see it, because people aren't going to be excited to see the truth. That's the point. You're not going to be excited to find out what's going wrong in the world. You're not going to be excited to finally realize that you've been lied to by yourself your whole life. Like, check this scenario. This is what I want to say. When you're a little kid, you play with building blocks. And you put the A and the B block together and you're playing. Oh, this is fun. Your mind is captivated with these little things. Say you get to be a little older and then you have a little sibling who's now starting to play with the building blocks, and they're dropping them and chewing on them and slobbering on them. And you're a little older looking back being like, oh, that's my little sibling. And if you're a kind sibling, you'll play with him and or her or whatever, and you'll play with the blocks, But it's below yourself. Not below in that way, but your mind can do more complicated things and more intricate things than playing with building blocks. Okay, let's say you get to be a teenager and you have little siblings. The building blocks usually have either been given away or put in a box or a chest or somewhere, because the little siblings get older and there's no one else to play with them. Maybe when you have grandkids, or maybe when you have kids, your parents will give them to the grandkids, something like that. But let's just use that building block scenario. Okay, mankind, humanity, our social structure was working with building blocks when we had built all these industrial buildings and all these systems and all these machines and all these factories. And we just got so busy doing it that we stopped thinking about what we were doing while we did it. And we make all these kind of plants that pump out poison pops. We make all these plants that pump out poison solvents and things to put into your food. We make all these poison plants because people say to. So there's a couple things I want to go off with this building blocks. Like, I want to use that building block scenario as the way we grow up. And let's say a police officer, if I wanted to go to a stranger's house and just show up on their door and knock on it, yeah, I can do that. But they could say, get off my property, and I would leave because I'd be respectful, okay? If a cop comes to your house because they heard something, or even if they just wanted to, say if there was a higher up that said, we need you to go here and investigate these people, make up a reason why you're there, and interrogate them or check them out, whatever the situation may be. Excuse me. If a police officer comes to your house, you can't just say, officer, leave my house right now. You have no reason to be here. I don't care who sent you. You're not allowed to be here. This is my house. They can just come. And people would say, well, that's an officer of the law, and they uphold our law and they work for our government. And I would say, have you ever seen some of these cops? They're usually overweight or something like that. They'll be built and have tattoos and their little wire going over here to their radios and their stuff. And do you think that all those people with those tattoos and those tough bodies went their whole lives without being a brute, without getting in fights, without any of that stuff? But people will say, oh, but they're reformed. Reformed means jack shit. That means you say yes sir, or okay sir, when you're supposed to. And behind closed doors you act just like everybody else. You're no different. So back to what I was saying with the building blocks. You can't trust a cop any more than you can trust a stranger. A uniform is a uniform. How many people can't get that through their heads? Way too many. So go back to the building blocks. Right now we're building places we don't need. There's bans on some places in New York and all these other, in France and Australia, you have to have a mask on to go to a restaurant or to go to a mall or to a public place or to a gym. Well, let me tell you right now, that's a good thing. You shouldn't be eating in restaurants. There's nothing healthy there. The restaurant that you need to get used to and that you need to start taking up, the grand opening of Wilderness, okay? Now don't go out and rape the wilderness. Take things, love Mother Earth, and realize that it's always been giving you life. You can't live without breathing. So if trees aren't important, if plants aren't important, then you ain't gonna breathe. Money means jack shit if you keep thinking that money's gonna give you life. Money doesn't give you anything but problems and other people who want it. So stop living with everyone else around me right now is literally, I don't care how old you are and I don't care how you take this. This is the truth. This is the truth about all of you, whether you like it or not. The truth is, once you wake up, you see that everybody in the world who has not stopped doing the social stuff, the checking out TV for the next biggest winner, even taking part in watching the Olympics just so we can watch people compete against each other and see who can run faster or dive with a better splash. Let's award them with gold medals like they're going to do something to help the fucking world. They're not. They're just distracting you and keeping you entertained because you're so stressed out with the life that you don't understand. And when somebody does understand it, because they're saying it to you in a straight point blank way without sugarcoating it and making it all fancy, no one's listening. People need to listen to people who care enough to put it straight to you. The point is, everybody out there doing the social system, doing all the shit that they're doing, eating the food they're eating, worrying about going to the mall, worrying about their new clothes, their new fads, and their new trends, and the coolest music that's about bitches and gangbanging, or yeah, tyrant. What the fuck is wrong with your brain? All of you. And you may not like me for saying that, but the point is, if you keep doing it, you're reflecting what's inside your head. If you think, I hate the world doesn't care much about you either because you are your world, duh. Is anybody else giving you thoughts? Yeah, unfortunately, you're all living off other people's thoughts. And what I want to basically say is right now in the world, I feel like the only person who's grown up to the point where I'm looking back at all these adults playing around with building blocks and slobbering on them because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Now, if you need help, I'm not this straightforward and rude and blunt about stuff all the time, but I'm sick of hearing people at 7 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon sawing down trees that we don't need to saw down. People think that that's helping the woods. Do you know that the wood actually dies and feeds the next generation of plants and fungus? No, a lot of people don't know that and they don't care. Because why do you think our woods and forest systems are falling apart? Because we're taking from them and not doing anything enough back to them. There's a few people trying to help trees because that seems like a sissy pussy thing to do. But I think the sissy pussy thing to do is to encourage fighting, is to encourage war. That's the sissy pussy thing to do. This pussy, sissy, that's what every single one of you fucking soldiers is, a fucking pussy. And I'm sorry, but it's true. I do not support the troops because I support living. If you're in another country, you're living. That's a fucking word. Country. Oh, were you born one day? Yeah. Was I born one day? Yeah. Did people tell you that you were from a different place than me? And did you have to realize that my neighbor's from a different place than me? Someone on the other side of town is from a different place as me. Oh, they're over this water and they're our enemy because the people that we fucking listen to, like morons, are telling us they're our enemy. And we grow up our whole lives as little kids being told what to do. And you graduate school when they see that you've listened enough to go out in the world and not cause any problems and start telling the truth. Because if you told the truth, they'd realize you don't need money. All the food is right out there in the open for you, is it not? You don't need to grow cows and kill them. The cows are eating the food that we're supposed to eat, not the grass. They have the grass too, but most people are like, that's gross, so I don't want to do that. Well, then don't. But start doing something more conscious. Eating dead meat is not helping you. You're playing with building blocks, people. That's all I've got to say. You're playing with building blocks. If you want to graduate and move up to the spiritual academy, join me because I have a lot to teach you. Everything you need to know, I can tell you. And I'm not joking. You may not like to hear that from somebody because you'll be like, that's not, nobody knows everything. I know everything that needs to be known in this world because I've been through it over and over and over again. And I'm done hiding that. People can come and put me to sleep for all I care. I can't be around people. Like, if you put me to sleep, all I'd be doing is escaping from a world of people that are zonked out. I cannot find an awake person. And if there are any, there should be comments under this video. There should be people liking and sharing this video. There should be millions of people sharing this video. And not because I want credit. If I made any money, I want to give it away. I don't want money. I'm sick of seeing people saying, oh, I'm stressing out. I got to come off my mortgage payment. No, you don't. Stop paying it. Stop paying taxes. Stop encouraging the system to go the way it's going. It's failing, so don't support it at all anymore. At all. If it's failing, why would you support it unless you want to fail? That just goes to show me that all of you guys are still playing with building blocks. Now get your heads out of your asses, because I love you, I'm saying this, and start living the right fucking way. Peace.